That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, come on, hey. That's what I'm talking about. All right, everybody. I love you. Thank you. Thank you.
How was that, ladies and gentlemen, as a warm-up act for his own appearance? Was the First Lady hot or not? And your moves. Wow. Overall, it doesn't look like you will ever have to spend several $1 million in advertising to convince millions of people that you're warm, compassionate, and one of them.
Hi everybody, welcome. I'm your host, Binary Mouse, and we have a truly fantastic guest appearance. Let's give a big welcome to the President of the United States, Barack Obama. The President often says that although he is our national leader, he stands on the shoulders of giants. What you may not know is that he gathers much of his wisdom and guidance from sayings and proverbs of common people throughout the ages and throughout the world.
We know about your love of education and your efforts to promote excellence in learning. The proverb from Guinea you've often quoted is, "Knowledge is like a garden. If it's not cultivated, it cannot be harvested." What other proverbs are dear to your heart that you've been known to share with others? You cited a good old American proverb when meeting with the delegation of college students in China. What was that one?
In terms of the burden that I feel, I am extraordinarily honored to be put in the position of president. And as my wife always reminds me when I complain that I'm working too hard, she says, you volunteered for this job. And so you know, there's a saying, I don't know if there's the similar saying in China, we have a saying, you made your bed, now you have to sleep in it. And it basically means you have to be careful what you ask for because you might get it. There is a Chinese proverb, consider the past and you shall know the future. Surely we have known setbacks and challenges over the last 30 years. Our relationship has not been without disagreement and difficulty. But the notion that we must be adversaries is not predestined, not when we consider the past.
There's an old Russian proverb which states, "A man is judged by his deeds, not by his words." You've often talked passionately about your commitment to action rather than talking about action. Your critics and opponents argue that you haven't kept your word.
But I say this, we have made progress, and we will make more. And I want you to know that I expect and hope to be judged not by words, not by promises I've made, but by the promises that my administration keeps. We'll bring together the next generation of American and Mexican leaders. This is the progress that we've made today. It's progress that calls to mind a Mexican proverb that I'm told says, "Tell me who you walk with, and I will tell you who you are." The United States is proud to walk with Mexico. Now, I'm told there's a Seneca proverb that says, "He who would do great things should not attempt them all alone." Ancient proverb. A journey of 1,000 miles must begin with a single step.
There's another Chinese proverb you love. Can you tell us what that is?
I'm told that there is a Chinese proverb that says, if you want 1 year of prosperity, then grow grain. If you want 10 years of prosperity, then grow trees. But if you want 100 years of prosperity, then you grow people. There's an old Turkish proverb, you cannot put out fire with flames. America knows this. Turkey knows this. Because history tells us truth has a life of its own once it's told. Love can transform a nation once it's taught. Courage can be contagious. Righteousness can spread. And there's much wisdom in the old proverb that God could not be everywhere, so he created mothers. Last year in Moscow, I learned a Russian proverb which says, every seed knows its time. A year ago, we planted a seed of cooperation and commerce, and today that cooperation is bearing fruit with new partnerships and prosperity for both our people.
Thank you ever so much, Mr. President, for sharing your best-liked proverbs with us. I'd like to inform the audience that the President has graciously agreed to help us create a 10-part video series on his favorite proverbs so that we really understand the role that the wisdom of common people throughout the world and throughout the ages has played in his presidency. God bless you, your wife, and family, Mr. President. Oh, and thanks again for rocking the house with your smooth moves.
All right, everybody. I love you. Thank you. Thank you.
Some of you regularly act upon the wisdom handed down to us by the common people of ancient times and of today. How refreshing it is to see leaders who know and act upon the wisdom of the world's greatest proverbs.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, come on, hey. That's what I'm talking about. All right, everybody. I love you. Thank you. Thank you.